Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be running on the track here in Danville. And I mean, this feels really cool. I mean, look at that purple color. Like, that's ridiculous. Brian's going to be running with us, and then we're going to be talking about the difference in some carbon shoes, some regular shoes, and some more track specific shoes. So let's get to it. Okay, yeah, so we just finished running. Went pretty well. We did 2 miles, and Brian actually ended up doing some 100-meter times. Not too bad.
Finally got an official time for that. It's kind of hard to like time yourself when you're going for 100, tapping like the timer on your watch and whatnot. And I also had no idea like what the official 100-meter length was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool.
These are the Hoka One One Carbon X shoes. So the main feature that everybody talks about with these is that there is actually a carbon base plate that runs through the shoes, which improves the rigidity of the shoe and the responsiveness of the shoe. So you've ran in regular running shoes, you ran in the Nikes for a while as well. How was it different moving to the carbon base plate shoes, and like what did you notice about your running?
Yeah. So I think that it's really interesting to kind of like look at like the carbon thing, especially for someone like me who like, I honestly haven't been running for that long, as you know, and like I didn't ever really know of shoe tech per se. I know like there's all these different density foams and whatnot now, but when I first got in, I had the Nike Zoom like 34s or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's like a pretty, I don't know, normal running shoe. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that
just, like,
someone would just like pick up if they went into a store.
Yeah, and like that's exactly how it went. I just went in and I was asking like what's something that I can log miles on. I really don't know anything. I want to train for a marathon, and that's about it. And the guy was like, I put 500 miles on these. That should do it. So that was great. And then just kind of like growing up, I was into skateboarding, so I had a lot of ankle problems. So then I heard pretty much you talking. Well, I saw Hoka's kind of gaining in popularity, but then you got the Cliftons, and I knew I wanted to get into potentially doing ultras and more marathons. So that's when I learned about them, and I put those on. And I think talking about differences in shoes, going from the Nike to the Clifton was the most noticeable.
Yeah.
You have your like almost guide rail system when you have the Clifton on. It's so stable. It's like just super comfortable, and the Clifton specifically, with it having like that super soft foam, like the joint pain is gone. Like I had a lot of knee pain. I had like, I'd like to say like a very minor tendonitis when I was running in the Nikes, and I think that all went away. So going from the Clifton then to the Carbon X, I think the differences were a little more subtle, but you start to see it a little bit, and like I think it's also partly a placebo effect. Like
no doubt,
you get like almost a $200 shoe, and you want to think that it's
you're getting
it
faster in
exactly.
some way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there was that to some degree, but as I wore it more and more and got into it and got into some more like longer distance days, you can start to see like your legs don't get as tired. You're not having to put so much effort into each step because it's like recycling your energy.
Yeah.
That like firmer base plate. That being said, like, would I want to train in them all the time? Probably not. I don't think your joints are going to be as nice in them, but
Yeah.
in terms of like energy exertion, definitely goes down a little bit.
So like better for the racing side of things, not so much the training side of things. Like
Exactly.
you'd still have a pair of trainer shoes that you would run with.
Yeah, yeah. And I think like to kind of go into that a little bit more, the durability, which is something a lot of people have talked about, is not great on the Carbon X, I think.
Well, and that's even in, so like I've talked about the sole of my shoes have like these higher contact patches that are like actual rubber, and then the red sections on here right now from the track are the EVA foam, where the entire bottom of these are EVA foam, and there is no rubber on them to provide that kind of protection.
Yeah. And I think like the Clifton also just kind of gives you a little bit more of an ability if you're like trying to get into trail running or gravel or anything that's not well groomed, like asphalt,
Yeah.
like you can do that with this. And I'm not saying that you're gonna have great contact with it. Like if you're running freaking, what's Nick doing? Like the
Like 50s and
yeah, just like the crazy like Rocky Mountain
yeah.
type stuff.
Oh yeah, he's doing the Leadville 100.
Yeah. Probably not the shoe for Leadville.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, I don't know, running around on a rail trail or something like that, I think that shoe would be perfectly fine. I wouldn't want to, I mean, I say this, we did the Poconos Triathlon.
True, and that was a lot
like,
of off-road running and
mulch and
gravel.
dirt
Yeah,
and-
that was disgusting.
That being said, would I do it again? No. Like, I would, if I know that's a race and this is a race shoe, but I would sooner take the Clifton for
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah,
anyways.
it's not a road race.
Yeah.
Yeah, slightly off-road, and you don't want to mess up the nicer carbon base plate road running shoes with, just a bunch of dirt.
Exactly. I also think, like, I have so I did the marathon in those, I did the triathlon, and like a handful of other runs. I didn't really do much long stuff in this.
Yeah.
So maybe 50 or 60 miles in the shoe.
Yeah.
And
How much do you have in your Cliftons, though? That's
over 5, maybe into 600 miles. Like,
Yeah.
those shoes logged a lot of miles. But yeah, so like 50 or 60 miles into this, maybe a handful of track workouts. And I'll admit that like track workouts definitely tear it up a little bit more because you're doing a lot more sprint stuff.
yeah.
But just in general, like, in terms of like tread, and there isn't much to start with, but maybe another 100 miles until like these are bare,
Yeah.
and that's just, I don't know, it's a lot to invest into a shoe to use every day and only get like 150 miles out of.
Yeah.
So
Well, but I even know that was a thing with like the Nike Vaporflies.
Yeah.
Like those that like Nick was talking about that, and he's like, yeah, these are like max 150, 200 mile shoes,
mhm.
because after that you just like rip through the bottom of them.
Yeah.
Which
And it's tricky too, because like, you know, you and I were very like casual runners, so I don't really have a $300, $400 budget to have 2 pairs of shoes, you know?
yeah.
So 100%, I think the Carbon X is a great shoe, and I think in terms of like the marathon time and whatnot, I would like to say that part of my success in the run came from the shoe.
Yeah.
But it's just, would I get them again? I don't think so,
Yeah.
honestly. I ran the Ultra in the Clifton,
Yeah.
and then I did my first marathon in the Nikes. But just the fact that like you can do pretty much anything in the Clifton, and again, I'm not going for like the sub 3 hour. I'm not going for
Yeah.
Boston qualifier times.
True.
If that's the case, and if that's what you're into, then by all means, I think you will get that advantage that you're looking for. I think you'll get that like recycling of energy. And I think at that point in your training and in your like career as a runner, I think you're going to be much more aware of the differences that the shoe's making.
Yeah.
For a more casual runner like myself, or someone who's just looking to kind of mess around in a bunch of different disciplines of running,
Yeah.
I don't need that advantage personally.
True.
Moral of the story, if you're a big time runner,
Yeah, if you're actually doing races and focused on improving your time in a race setting,
Yeah.
on road
yeah,
or on track, the carbons would give you an advantage over a normal trainer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, if you're looking for just the speed, but you just do like a track workout here and there, Clifton's gonna be fine. Or you can go and pick up, just like, I got these at a tent sale at like Dick's Sporting Goods, and this was like a $15 cross-country spike. So like, again, it's not the right tool for the job, but I think, you know, if you just need something to do track workouts in, great shoe. Or if you just want to use the Clifton, still perfectly fine. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing, like, when it comes to running, I think there's a, what is it, law of diminishing return,
Yeah. Yeah.
where like you can get a lot of technology, and then up to a certain point you hit this wall where the amount of money you're putting in, you get everything that you need, and past that point it's very like niche, very like specific
Yeah.
stuff that you would really only see if you're doing a ton of it, or you're looking for like a really crazy time.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to put it.
You know?
I mean, thank you all for watching this. Hope that there was good information in it for you. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about the shoes and I don't know the answers, I'll forward them to Brian and he'll also be in the comments, so feel free to leave a comment below. And as always, hit the subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on the videos, and hit the little notification bell beside it so that way you're getting notified every time a new video comes out. Thanks for talking about your shoes. Thanks for running with me today. Thanks for letting me come up and visit.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. See you in the next one.